Congrats, Tigers. We're coming back to see you. We got a parade on Saturday, second natty. Y'all deserve it. All of our former players, all of our fans. So happy for everybody. God bless all of you. Go Tigers. We'll see you back in Tiger Town.
Clemson coach Dabo Swinney, an Alabama alum, taking down the Tide for the second time in 3 years. And this time around, it didn't take a final play, a Deshaun Watson magic act. It was a blowout. That's the magic. Nick Saban, worst loss ever, 44-16. Unbelievable. The last team to beat Alabama by 16 or more points was LSU when Nick Saban was the head coach. Oh, my goodness. It was nasty. It was ugly. And, Peter, as you said earlier, the big players for Alabama didn't step up. The big players for Clemson did, including a literally big guy, 6 foot 6 inch, true freshman Trevor Lawrence, who now has to wait 2 years to go to the NFL. I think the NFL would take him right now.
Oh, no question about it, Mike. And I think, this is going to be a story over the next few weeks, over the next few months, probably approaching this year's draft for a very simple reason, that when a guy looks that precocious and that good, you have to just say, is there real reason for this rule? Now, the NFL is going to point to player development and what the college game is and their relationship with college football. And I look at this and I say, I do understand that, but I also look at it and say that here's Trevor Lawrence. He's 19 years old. Certainly he needs more development, no question about it. But after a year in which he threw for 30 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions, after a night which he was 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 347 yards against Alabama, looking every bit. The amazing thing in even in just watching the highlights is how calm he was. And, I was with Patrick Mahomes the other day, and it's so interesting to look at a lot of these young quarterbacks, Mike, and to see how calm they are and how prepared they are for this level right now. And look, we're going to debate this a lot probably over the next few months. But Clemson's very, very lucky to have this guy for the next 2 years.
Yeah, if they have him for 2 years. Now, I'm not suggesting he should sit out the next 2 years, but I'll tell you what I would do. Come back next year, win your Heisman Trophy, go for another national championship, and then in 2020 say, see you later, Clemson. I'm done making you money. I'm going to commence the process of preparing myself to go to the NFL and make money. And where we are right now, I think how things have evolved with players not playing in meaningless bowl games, and the pendulum has moved in that direction. I think we're ready for a high-end prospect, especially at quarterback, to make the conscious decision. I'm not going to break my ankle. I'm not going to tear up my knee. I'm not going to injure myself in a way that's going to keep me from playing in the NFL. I'm going to give college football 2 years, and if they're not going to let me in, I'm going to sit out a full year. Jadeveon Clowney was the first guy that we really pushed that issue on behalf of. And I remember that last year for him in South Carolina. It felt like he was conscious of injury, that he understands there's nothing to gain that third year. You're only making money for someone else. And I think that's what Lawrence should consider, Peter.
Well, I'll say this, Mike. I remember when Peyton Manning went back for, he had a choice. Remember, he could have been the first draft choice overall in 1997 by the New York Jets. Or he could go back to school one more year and be drafted by whoever in 1998. And there's a lot of urban legend about what Peyton Manning thought and what he decided and everything like that. But I think at the end of the day, it came down to this. When you're 21 or 22 years old, you love football. You love college football. It's all you know. And when you're a kid growing up, you don't say, well, at 19 and 20, I'm going to play college football. And then that third year, I'm going to sit out because I want to save myself. Do you know how much fun Trevor Lawrence must be having right now? He's got to be one of the happiest kids in America. And again, I'm not saying he wouldn't do what you suggested, but some of this is not just saving himself for his future. Some of this is, my gosh, I'm having the time of my life. I'm not giving this up. And very, very few times, I can think back really only a couple of times, like Greg Cook half century ago with the Bengals, suffered an injury so bad that he really couldn't keep playing. And so injuries and modern science, Mike, you know, I just don't see any kid giving up an entire year. Nick Bosa was a little different this year, right? Because he actually got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt, and then he said, forget it, I'm not going to try to race back and blah, blah, blah. I get that. I'm not saying, I have no idea. I've never met this kid. I don't know anything about his situation. But I would just be surprised if a kid, a teenager still, looks 2 years ahead and says, well, that's it. I'm only playing here one more year.
At that age, you don't look 2 weeks ahead. I mean, that's the reality. That's what benefits the college football system. You're in that bubble, that 18 to 23-year-old bubble where you think, number one, you're going to live forever. Number two, you're always going to be able to do the things that you currently can do. And number three, I'm just living in the moment. I don't care about next week. Definitely don't care about next year. Screw next year. I'm going to enjoy my life now. And that inures to the benefit of all these college programs that are making billions collectively on the efforts of guys who, yeah, what am I going to do? I'm not going to play football. I love playing football. I'll go play football. I'm 6'6". They can't hurt me. I'll be fine. I've lived a charmed life. It's going to continue to be charmed.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.